Hey guys, welcome to Table Talk. I'm Joe Beretta.
Oh, I'm Dani Rosenberg.
Go, Dani, go. I'm Trisha Hirschberger.
Ricky, come back! Ricky! What? I want to wear that top hat for this Table Talk. If you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where fashion sits? Putting on the Ritz.
Oh.
All right, I'm back!
Hold on.
The book!
I'm back.
Okay.
I saw some posts online about
We
people
missed you,
talking
Joe.
about how much they hate this.
Why?
And how it slows us down and it's kind of a conversation
Oh,
killer.
it slows us down a whopping 2 seconds.
I agree.
In a
I'm
20-minute
going back
video.
to throwing. Then it might be because I'm
I
very
do
not
want to
accurate
try
with
and
this.
ball it up and see, but we can keep talking while somebody shoots.
I know.
We even put a special camera just so you guys can see where this lands.
We have a GoPro up here.
Christian Davies says, at Addicted to Flow, what do you guys think about this year's streamies? Or what did you guys think about this year's streamies? I wasn't there and I was super
I know, we
disappointed.
missed
I was sad that
Joe.
Joe wasn't there.
And I was also in an area where I couldn't stream it, so I wasn't watching
no,
it. But I
Joe.
was checking it out on the twits.
You got,
Yeah, I was going to
got
say, you
DT in the
tweeted
crotch.
pretty fast, so you must have known what was happening.
I was legitimately excited. I think it's really easy after you do something even for 3 years, and even
Yeah.
if you do something for 6 months, to get a little bit jaded about what you do, and it can get monotonous sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'm just being real. I love my job, but it can
being
still
real.
be like that.
Yeah, I mean,
even
any
as
job
film.
feels like
Yeah.
a job after a while.
It was exciting. And
Yeah.
I remember when the category started, you and I talked about, like, and we didn't even know the category was happening because all of the little intro bits.
Yeah, the lead-in
you had no idea.
wasn't newsy.
They never seemed like
Yeah.
anything as to what the
It
category
was just, oh, they're so
And
funny.
then all of a sudden it was like news and current event show. And I had just been eating snacks and just kind of been like, cool. And all of a sudden I was like really nervous and excited.
I did too.
and-
I like stiffened up.
Oh my God. It was
I
just
wasn't
such a
expecting it to
thrill.
be
It's
there so early.
reinvigorating, I guess is what I was gonna say. Like when
Yeah.
I saw that we won, I was like, yes! And it made me
Yeah.
so proud, and like it made me want to come back
And
to
that
work.
we
and-
won news and current events. Like, that was the big thing for me.
We
like,
beat like HuffPost and New York Times and that's nuts.
That's insane. And just to clarify, I know a lot of people thought like that was the audience choice because we were also up for audience choice, but that wasn't. Well, the award that we actually won was from the Streamies panel of voters, and they picked us for news and current events. Like Joe said, I mean, it was like, wow. Like
It
when
is
we
good.
It's
do
really exciting.
those 5 stories a day, like, that's something that people respect to the point that we got an award
I think
for
it's
it.
'cause
That's awesome.
We do it different.
We do
I
it
won't say
different.
we do news well, but we do it different, and we do it with a different personality, and that's what I like about what we do a lot, and that's why I think we won in that group of people. I sent Will a text that he was supposed to read if we won.
I saw that.
It was a blur. The minute you get up there, you're just like,
Uh-huh.
We all went.
He didn't, by the way, and you can check out my Instagram to
I
see
love
my
it.
speech.
Did you really send that to him before?
Yeah.
You didn't do it after as a joke? Really?
I sent him a second speech that he was supposed to say if we won the second one, which was just making him say ass 20 times because he doesn't swear.
That would have been amazing.
And then
the Streamies was at the room where the Golden Globes is held.
It was
Crazy.
So my TV movie geek side was freaking out in there. I was like, this is the room where the
Yeah,
Golden
it
Globes
was really
are.
cool.
It was weird seeing the Beverly Hilton in like the pictures. Like I was like, whoa. It's
I stole
kinda
some
like
coasters.
that. Okay, so
Guys, YouTube's legit. It's legit
so
now.
take us and put it to the side. Like it was good for us. Winning is sweet. Blah 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 blah.
yes.
How was? Because I wasn't there. How do you guys feel the production was? The show itself.
What I see is like being in that room. There were no audio visual problems. It was fun as hell. It was great.
Yeah.
When Starship came out, everybody was like, what?
Oh, what they sing, by the way?
They said we built this city and
There was something else. Another one of their big hits.
I forget.
What
but
show
it
was
was
there?
awesome. It was awesome. But I heard that people watching at home, there was a lot of audio, like mics cracking.
I was going to
and-
say that. There were a lot of audio issues for the streamers at home. And apparently also it was weird because you couldn't hear any of us laughing in the audience
we were
for
laughing.
a lot of Hannah and
Grace
Grace's
and
stuff.
Hannah were so funny. They were great.
Oh,
And
really?
so I guess it played really awkwardly in the stream that like they'd make a joke and it would seem like it didn't hit. So like people
Don't
were
lie.
saying,
You guys were trying to sabotage Grace and Hannah the whole time.
and so
I love
people
those
were
chicks.
saying
Female on
like,
female
oh,
violence.
they weren't good. But I mean, honestly, us being there, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
It was a lot of fun.
It was fun, and there were a couple. It was like Lance Bass was there, which was
He was
fun.
there last year too.
love how
Yeah,
they-
Lance Bass is like,
They shove people in that don't.
and Hal
mess-
Sparks.
Yeah, Hal. As soon as I
I
saw
was
that Hal
like,
Sparks
what?
was there, I was
I
like, Hal
haven't
doesn't
seen
know
him
where he
since
is.
Talk
Well,
Soup in the late 90s. I
Tara
was like, what?
Reid, I felt so bad for her. That was a weird
It was
one.
awkward, and she was sitting at Phil's table with
Was she?
Lindsay, and we were texting her like, "What's that like?" And she was like, "They didn't really interact." And when she was done with her award, she left.
Wait, she got an
Yeah,
award?
no, she
Or
presented
presenting an award.
Oh.
But I guess she left after she presented the
Man.
award. And apparently when she presented the award, she didn't read anything on the prompter. She just went off the cuff.
Ooh,
It's rough because
Tara
I
Reid.
root for her a little bit.
Yeah.
I want her to do better. And so when that happens, you're like,
Sharknado
girl.
and the Streamies.
One of my good guy
award
friends.
presentation. How far and hard the mighty fall from the pillar that is American
You know what?
pie.
I love Josie and the Pussycats, and it makes me sad.
I root for Tara Reid too. My friend, a good guy friend of mine, played her super pretty fiance in Sharknado.
Okay.
And I was like, "You were Tara Reid's fiance? How was that?" Like, I was so excited.
Wait, Ian?
No,
Isn't
not
Ian Jerry?
Ian's the lead. He plays her
Oh.
ex-husband.
Oh, I thought they
I
got
only
married
watched
at the end of it or
Sharknado
some
up
shit.
until that point.
Man.
No, Ian comes back to like protect her from the sharks, and then my friends all like, "I got this. You're not welcome here." And then, spoiler alert, my friend totally dies by a shark, and it's awesome.
Death by shark.
It's very cool.
Oh, ours went.
A lot of people die by sharks.
So
in that
Streamy's
movie.
good. It was fun.
We had a
Good
great
time.
time.
Winning always feels real good.
Ooh.
Except for I wish that I had thought about what I was gonna say up there a little bit more. I wish I had.
Only thing I knew was I wanted to thank the editors, but I was trying to say to Phil, like, and then it was like, I don't want to whisper in someone's ear while I'm up there, and then I was leaning in to say to Phil, and then he
And
just
then he
put
was
the
like,
mic
"Here
in
you
my
go,
face.
Dani."
I was like, all right.
It's such a waste of those speeches that you guys worked on so hard
Well,
for the
I-
gaming channel. We didn't get to use
Oh
them.
yeah. Well, you know what? Once I saw the clips that they showed for the gaming channel nominees, I realized it's because they were trying to diversify and make it not just video games, because they also showed Will Wheaton's tabletop and they showed us playing Cards Against Humanity. So they were trying to get like a variety of gaming in
I think
this
next year is going to be a
category.
different story.
Ooh.
That's all I'll say about That's all I'll say about that.
Speaking of different stories, before we move on, that have something to do with the stories that just happened that you guys are talking
Go,
about.
go, Joe, go!
On my drive back, I got caught in Utah because of the freeway in Nevada got flooded away.
Well, I saw
Like,
that picture. It was
gone.
nuts.
It was freaking gone.
Joe
So-
wasn't supposed to be gone for as long as he was.
So we had to take a detour through the Utah desert to get back to Las Vegas, to get back to LA, and we were out there for 10 hours. It was a 2-lane
I've been
highway.
stuck in Utah.
Stop go traffic. Stop go to the point where we would park for 20 minutes and then move
God.
50 yards.
Because no one could get on the
and park for
freeway,
20
so
minutes.
all
Exactly.
of that traffic
and then,
was there.
Like big rigs were breaking down, and there was a wreck at a crucial junction.
Oh, God.
But I started walking down the line of cars to go talk to a truck driver who had a CB because I just wanted to know what the hell was going on.
Yeah.
And I talked to the guy, and I start walking back, and I'm just telling the cars as I go, and I recognized the license plate on one of them was Montana. So I started talking to them, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, "Oh, why are you going back to LA?" I'm like, "Oh, I live there for work." And they're like, "Oh, we live there too, but we moved up to Montana recently." And I go, "Oh, cool." And they go, "But what kind of work do you do?" I go, "Well, I do the YouTubes," which is what I always say. I don't try to get too into it. And they go, "Oh, well, then you know our son." And I go, "Who's that?" And they go, "It's Will Wheaton." So I end up like hanging out with Will Wheaton's parents for like
That's
20
awesome.
minutes in the Utah desert.
That's
awesome.
great.
Yeah, and they were
Cool.
they were very pleasant people.
I would imagine so.
I hung out with Chester C's parents at the Streamies,
All right.
and they were also very pleasant people.
You know what? I like hanging out with parents, period.
Parents are pretty
I
sweet.
love that age range. I really relate to 50-year-old ladies.
Okay.
We get along well.
You always said you've been about like 20 years ahead of
I've
your
been
actual
50
age.
since I was 14.
That's why you're awesome, Dani.
Aw, thank you. Okay.
Go ahead. Oh, you got one. We just haven't
got
even
it.
gotten
And you
to
take
it.
calcium supplements to fight off your osteoporosis.
I do.
Aw.
Okay.
I hope
From
none of us
Reddit,
get that.
This is Tactical Stash. When was the first time you thought, "Holy shit, I'm an adult now"?
There
That's-
has to have been a moment.
I feel like we've answered this before. My smart ass answer is the first time I ordered a quarter pounder with cheese instead of the 2 cheeseburger meal. That was like, I'm a big boy now.
Oh, a big boy or adult? Because they're
I
different
mean,
for me.
you think you're an adult when you're 12, so I was probably 6 when I really first thought I was an adult.
Okay, if we're
The-
going with
yeah.
that, I
What-
have one.
Okay.
The first time I could fit into women's size clothing and not kids' size. Because for me, that happened much later because I was so much tinier as compared to everyone else in my class. So the first time I could buy, like, a women's size 0. I was like, I went around yelling, I'm a woman now, I'm a woman now. And my mom was like,
I'm a woman now.
my mom was like, she didn't get her period. That's not what this is. To people. Because I was like, I'm a woman. And my mom was like,
They're going to think it's that. Yeah.
That's a lot different than the time I had a couple
Exactly.
drinks and was yelling, I'm a woman now. That's a very different experience. A lot of size 0 clothing from the women's section still there, though.
I'm a woman now.
I'm a woman now!
What about you, Danny?
I think the first time I officially bought my own car, and you're sitting in there, it's the worst experience. You sit there, and they run your credit. It takes about an hour, and you just think about every call from a debt collector you've ever sent to voicemail while they're doing it. You're like, oh God, I'm not going to get this vehicle. But doing that whole process, filling out all that information.
That's a big, scary
and
process.
Having to buy a car by
Yeah.
myself was,
That's a big one.
That's-
I remember, oh, good.
I was just going to say, it's like, for me at least, when I bought my first car, I drove away from it, and I was like, I just spent so much money.
Yeah.
And I, like, freaked out.
I was like, they got me. They got my number.
They own me. I also remember when I went to college, my dad drove me there. I had never lived outside of my house prior to going to college or anything like
Okay.
that. I was always with the family. Was never afraid of that. Just never had the opportunity to do so. But I do remember just standing like at the front door of my dorm as my dad drove away after dropping him all of my stuff off and he giving me hugs and he teared up, and I just remember him driving away and then me going, oh, I'm alone now. This is good.
Were you
This
scared?
is kind of scary. I'm a big boy.
I think living in the dorms at college,
Yeah.
like I really do kind of feel bad for people that go to college from home because they don't get that experience.
You're
And while-
living in an apartment complex with like 219-year-olds.
and no
It's
one's ever
chaos.
lived alone before. So yes, it's chaos and it's crazy. And in that way, maybe you should commute from home. But also having
Don't
that experiment, like being thrust into that,
It's great.
is such an awesome learning experience.
It's a
because-
learning
Yeah.
experience, but it's also a baby step, which I've said
Yeah.
before, because
Yeah.
college is fake responsibility.
Well, because you're not paying for all of your life stuff.
I think
Yeah.
it's really, even though it's good for education, I think it's also during those 4 years, was it 18 to like 21? You're still just like the dumbest little thing.
Well, exactly.
And you're like, I need structure to help me transition from my family into society.
And you also
they
discover
keep you
you.
busy while you do that for the most part.
Yeah, for little things. Like, I remember being like, I don't know how to do laundry. Like, my first 2 weeks of freshman year of college. But guess what? I better learn.
Just picturing you in a
And-
laundry room covered in
Well,
detergent. Like,
I was like,
I
the
don't know.
quarter's going here. Do I put the detergent in halfway through the cycle or at the beginning? Does it go on the bottom, or do I put the clothes in first? Does that even matter? I don't know. Do I have to separate them? How do I separate them?
The first night,
I don't know.
the first night I got to college, I always had to ask my mom if I could go and do things. It was like a very long permission thing. So the first night my roommate's like, hey, you want to go like get a pizza? And I was like, well, let me just ask my mom first. And then I was like, I don't have to do that anymore.
No.
And then everything just went.
The first like 3 months of college is trying to figure out your masturbation schedule. You have a roommate, and then
You have a roommate.
so you have this moral
You got to use the shower.
fork in the road that
Use
you
the
also
shower.
hit too. You're like, to masturbate or not to masturbate when my roommate is in the room.
Oh.
Oh my
answer
goodness. A lot of people.
Is not.
Please don't.
There's plenty of times I've experienced like your roommate's just kind of like, fuck it, I'm gonna fuck somebody right next to you.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
And you kind of wake up and you're just like, you dick! You're
like, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Oh, college is fun. Let's move on.
Okay.
College is fun. Red Bull Junkie at Tasha D. Spencer says, what traditions have been passed down in your family? Hashtag table talk.
Man, I've always been a little bit disappointed with that facet of my family life. Is that we didn't have traditions that were passed down really. There's
Did you
nothing-
build your
Really?
own?
Not really. Like, the closest thing is a love for Christmas.
Okay. That's good.
Which I need to fight my bah humbuggery about because my wife loves it and my children love it, but I tend to stress the F out about money.
It's expensive.
It is
So,
expensive.
But my dad, loves it. One of his favorite movies ever is It's a Wonderful Life,
Yeah.
which I also incredibly love. It's my favorite Christmas movie. Which I think is the tradition that I will. Oh,
he's
you're
guiding.
Yeah, we did
guiding.
this
I was
last
like, what's
time.
happening? No, it does not
Go!
interrupt conversation. So, what my dad does, and I'll probably pick up and continue on with, is that he has a massive, massive Christmas village. Like, 100 plus
like
houses.
the little pieces
He's
and
got
stuff.
the
Yeah, I
houses.
love those.
He got
That's
the fake
cool.
snow and
I wish I had a
everything.
house big enough for that.
Yeah.
He makes room. Like, things like the kitchen table's gone.
We don't need a couch anymore.
Yeah. So I think I will probably, once he bequeaths that to all of us, that's something that I will keep going tradition-wise
That's
in our
awesome.
family.
My family has a crazy Christmas Eve, and it's real weird. I mean, it's the Irish Italian side of my family, and we have a lot of Christmas cheer
Blood
and
orgy?
have a good time. But so we started, or my parents started. My mom is one of 5, so there's lots of siblings that each have 3 kids. So lots of cousins on this side. The parents started Santa Claus coming on Christmas Eve to the Christmas Eve gathering and giving all the kids PJs, primarily so they could change the kids into their PJs, let them pass out in a room while they still partied, and then just take them home and put them to bed. They're already ready to go. And so then we got used to Santa comes on Christmas Eve every year and gives you your Christmas PJs. And so that's
Oh,
a tradition
that's
that we
fun.
do
That's
every year.
cute.
I
But
like that.
now that we're all older, it still happens. First of all, the first cousin to turn 30 was pissed when she didn't get PJs on Christmas.
I
and
would be
everybody
too
else
after
did.
30
Where's
years
my
of
fucking
free
PJs?
Yes, Christmas PJs on Christmas Eve and Santa comes. And
They
then-
make
My funny pajamas!
They make adult-sized onesies, so there's no excuse.
Yeah, and now that my generation of cousins has started getting married and having kids, first of all, when you get married, your spouse gets Christmas PJs too. This is part of it.
I like this tradition.
Yeah.
And now that they have kids, the Christmas PJs are for their kids too. And so we decided, so that it's not just our generation and the kids, we surprised our parents one year by Santa bringing Christmas PJs for all the parents too. So
Great.
we all went out and surprised our parents with it. So of course every parent has like butt flap onesie pajamas.
I want
because
'em.
you pick up we get the PJs for them, so they're surprised. They get the PJs for us, so we're surprised. It's a big fun thing, and
I love
everyone
that.
has to change into PJs
I love
that
it.
night
That's
at
a good
the party.
tradition. I like that.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
My parents, they grew up Catholic. They went through Catholic school, and then they just burned out on it. And they were like, you don't have to do it. And I was like, great. So any like traditional religious holiday, like Easter and stuff, we either go to a theme park or we just watch like Mel Brooks, Leslie Nielsen movies all day and eat like junk food. And we do that for most holidays and stuff like that. So my parents were just kind of like, when everyone else is going to mass, like we're gonna go to Knott's Berry Farm. And like
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, my
You're
parents
doing
were
a
super
family
fun
thing.
about it.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And then like nobody's at the park either. It's all
Yeah.
yours.
Oh yeah.
It's your park.
See-
Unless you go to Disney. Disney's freaking crazy on
Well,
Halloween and Christmas.
I was gonna say, I would think that on those holidays, the parks like Knott's or Disney would be less packed, but at least out here, they're crazy packed. And when I first moved
Yeah.
out here, I think I inadvertently kind of offended this woman that I worked with because I was like, who does that on Christmas? And she was like, Jewish people. And I was like,
How did you offend her?
because she was Jewish, and I guess the fact that I
Oh.
couldn't even fathom who would go to the
yeah.
movies or who would go to a park on Christmas offended her. And I was like, I'm sorry, I don't know. I never heard of that. I'm
Yeah,
from
well, I feel like you grew up in an
Pennsylvania.
area that was like a lot more
Farmville,
like Christian folks.
Pennsylvania,
And,
where
yeah.
everyone was the same. I was like, I just didn't know. That's cool.
DJ, do you do any cool traditions?
My dad loves Christmas.
What do you guys do?
We have an advent calendar that my grandma painted. And so
Awesome.
block. And
Yeah.
I think after years of doing it, we remember what's on there. No.
No? It surprises you every
We
year?
have a couple, like the first one and last one we got down pat, but the other ones we always try to remember.
Yeah.
My dad has a Christmas village. He makes ornaments and stuff. It's just my dad should grow out a beard and just become Santa Claus.
He might be. You just don't know it.
DJ's parents are adorable, by the way,
And Santa
for
Claus.
the record. And Santa Claus.
That's cute.
So what kind of cool traditions do you
Yeah,
guys have?
that's
Let us
fun.
know in the comments
I need
section.
to steal some and bring them into my family.
You guys can keep
Dude,
talking.
do Santa
We
Christmas
will prove
PJs.
that this
It's
is not a
amazing.
conversation stopper. Keep going.
But,
keep going.
yeah, so like and subscribe and all that stuff. Blah blah blah.
And if you want to join in on the conversation next time, you can do that on Twitter via #TableTalk or on reddit.com/r/source.
Can you guys add an explosion when that happens?
I love it so much.
Okay, well, I'm Joe Beretta.
I'm Dani Rosenberg.
One singular sensation. Every little step she takes. Da 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 da.